houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Back here at Park Tudor as you get a nice look at the starting five here for Park Tudor. We're going to toss it to the PA announcer. As you get a good look of the starting five for Park Tudor, here's the starting five for Speedway. It's number 3, Nate Metalik. Number 20, Cody Fenters. Number 24, Landon Short. Number 32, Devin Robinson. And number 52, Creighton Bennett. And Tony, I watched a few of the games we did early on in the season for Park Tudor, and I've noticed they've got a couple different players there in the starting lineup. I don't know if that's due to just this game, injuries, or what, but two notable guys I see starting is the freshman Keelan Smith, and then also Hudson Horvath getting the start there. So switching things up a little bit there for the Panthers. Yeah, we mentioned Park Tudor kind of having a little bit of an advantage with some of their seniority they had, and then they come out here and they start a freshman and a sophomore. So interested to see how they do tonight. And there's the freshman, the 6'4" freshman, winning the tip for Park Tudor. Look for Park Tudor to get Jermaine Coleman going early. They like to run a set for him. Little floater in the lane by Washington, too strong. And now it's Metalik bringing the ball up. Short on the far side, back to Metalik. Good skip pass, finds an open short in the corner. Off the mark, and a good rebound there by Smith. Liked Speedway there. Getting an open look for a good shooter. Just wasn't able to knock it down, but I like the attack. There is a strong take by Smith. And quickly comes Speedway the other way. Little fadeaway shots there off the mark from Fenters. And now Coleman on the right side.
Coleman, a lefty. He really likes to get to that left hand. If he goes right, tends to want to do a pull-up after a dribble or two. Just something to keep an eye on.
As they reset.
Speedway showing 2-3 zone. Horvath, really good shooter.
Now Coleman with an open look. Rattles around and in.
Good ball movement against the zone there by Park Tudor. Get a wide open three for arguably your best player.
And there's the first turnover of the night for either team, and Park Tudor's going to get this ball back up 5.
Mentioned as a key for Speedway, take care of the basketball tonight, especially when it's of the unforced nature. That's something that just drives a coach nuts sometimes when you get those unforced turnovers.
Sparkplug's back in that 2-3 zone. The 2-3 zone, that really combats kind of the size that Park Tudor has, but you mentioned it, it leaves open the opportunity for three-point looks.
Absolutely, and I love the way that Park Tudor's trying to overload the side, play a numbers game essentially. You see they've got 4 guys on that side of the floor now. That's how you end up getting an open look just like that for a great shooter. Horvath, a really good shooter as well, who got the rebound.
Ball gets away, but Coleman gathers it, but that's an over and back, so a turnover for each team on back-to-back possessions. If you're Coach Adams there, you tell Coleman to shoot that 10 times out of 10, right?
10 times out of 10, 100%, especially after you just knocked down one prior. If I'm Speedway, I'm a little concerned. He's gotten as good of looks as he has early on. You really don't want to get him going.
For a cross offensive look here for Speedway.
For Speedway's actions, typically you're always going to end up with the ball back in Metallic's hand and then trying to get him in some space to score.
Had a one-on-one opportunity. Good help by Horvath there. Strong take off the glass and finish for Fenters for the first 2 points for the Sparkplugs.
Yeah, I think Speedway's running some good offense here. Finally got one to fall, but I like the offense that they're running.
Petty near side swings it back up to Coleman.
Now a little bit of a 3-2 look here for Speedway. See Metallic there at the top.
We find Petty over on the far side, and he drills the 3.
Going to be tough for Speedway to stay in that zone the way that Park Tudor's kind of slicing it up a little bit right now and then knocking down shots.
Fenters with the spin, leaves it short, and now Petty looking to push. Quick shot there by Horvath, way off the mark. And I would say that's their first bad shot for the Panthers so far.
Would absolutely agree, and then you allow Speedway to kind of push the ball up in transition a little bit and try to get Metallic going.
Tony, we're seeing it so far. It's really Metallic. A few times he's caught it at the top of the key, and he's looking to just go one-on-one and beat his defender.
Absolutely, and Park Tudor's got it scouted pretty well. They've got guys sitting in gaps trying to take that away from Metallic, and Metallic's had a tough time trying to get to the basket. But what I liked what he did is when he drove it and then he kicked it, and Speedway had some space there for Fenters, and he was able to score. There were only 2 points of the game.
Good back cut, and there Fenters is again.
I like the back cut play, though. Park Tudor's over pursuing a little bit. Speedway calls the back cut. Looked like it was by design.
Baseline out of bounds here as they get it in. Robinson up top. They're going to look to get the double screen to who else but Metallic. It's not there, and he gets it right back, but it's a turnover. Easy lay in there for Smith, and he's got 4.
Again, really got to control the turnover battle if you're Speedway. Park Tudor pressuring a lot.
They brought the double team there, and it seems evident that it's even more important to keep these turnovers down because Park Tudor is looking to get that ball out and push.
Absolutely.
So we've got an inbounds on the far side here. It's going to be Robinson to trigger. Metallic up top. He keeps it.
Interesting. Kaman Washington drawing the assignment for Metallic tonight. First 4 minutes of the game. Got to like what he's done so far.
Yeah, he seems kind of like just a really good team player. I mentioned he was one of those guys that was coming off the bench early in the season, and we can see why he's worked his way into the starting lineup, just doing a lot of the little things well.
Absolutely, and if you can defend, your coach will certainly find a way to get you on the floor.
As they get the ball up top too short. there's that pull-up jumper we've been looking for. Nate knocks down the tough shot.
I like this kid's game a lot. Pull-up jumper, pretty stroke.
And how about the rolls we've seen so far for Coleman?
Knocks down his second three of the game. He's got 6 already. And like I said, just getting really good looks if you're Park Tudor.
And now we see him getting it done on both ends, rejecting Robinson. Petty gets into the lane. Good dish over there to Smith, and the ball movement has been really good for the Panthers so far.
Yeah, they're beating the zone exactly the way that you want to. You don't want to dribble against the zone. You're trying to overload a side and then find the open man, skip it to him, and knock it down.
Good defense there by Drew Metallic getting into the game for the first time. The freshman, the nifty move, can't finish. And it's Smith with the pass over the top to Coleman. Strong take there by Coleman. He's going to go to the line for 2. Tony, we saw the three-point shot go down, and then on the other end, here's Coleman getting back.
Yeah, did a great job just helping over, getting the block. And the next possession comes down, gets to the rim. You saw Metallic kind of played that left hand there for Jermaine Coleman. Jermaine Coleman, once they get back to that left, as you saw, still, though, went up strong, drew the foul as he gets to shoot the free throw.
We see for the Spark Plugs, number 50, Camden Bennett coming in, the sophomore, and also for Park Tudor, number 4, Ben Wilkerson, the junior guard. He was one of those starters early on in the season, so Coach Adams getting everyone involved here as we believe we have a lane violation that will go against the Panthers.
Yeah, with Wilkerson checking in there for Park Tudor, I liked his game in the games that I had watched. He kind of can run the show as the point, has a good stroke as well, so excited to see what he can do here for the Panthers.
Just under 2.5 to play here in the first quarter, and it's Park Tudor leading by 10. Strong take, but better defense there by Petty, and he comes up with the rebound.
If you're Coach Tim Adams, you really just got to like the defensive energy that your team's playing with. I mentioned you want them to come out and just play their tails off, and that's exactly what Park Tudor is doing here at the start.
We also see Thomas Ruffin, the senior, into the game for Park Tudor. Also coming in is number 24, Keelan Mark Jr.
Mark Jr., another lefty for that Park Tudor squad. There's just something about a lefty stroke when you see it.
When it's good, it's good, but when they're bad, it's very bad. So I will agree with you on that. Sparkplug still trying to stay active in this zone. Good pull-up jumper off the mark there by Wilkerson. And it's Metallic with the rebound.
Nobody wanted to stop him. He went coast to coast. And that's one that as a coach will really aggravate you because there was a substitution at the free throw. Somebody didn't talk.
Yep.
And it ended up you leave their best player able to go coast to coast for a layup.
3-point off the mark there for Horvath. And that's the last guy you want to not pick up. So we'll see if they do a better job this time as they nearly came up with the steal, but there's going to be a 30-second timeout by Coach Bennett, and that's going to give us a chance to thank our sponsors, Industrial Sales Associates. They have been an electromechanical component manufacturer's representative for Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, and Eastern Tennessee for years. They want to say good luck to all the teams during this sports season, and for more information about them, contact Rich at 317-546-1900. So we get a look there at Coach Adams and his team during the break. They're up 10. Tony, you kind of touched on what we've seen so far, but really elaborate on what Park Tudor's been able to do so well here in the first quarter.
Defensively, yeah, they've outside of that coast-to-coast drive, they've really been able to limit Metallic, which is where all the offense for Speedway runs through. So their energy on the defensive end is really carried over to the offensive end. The ball's popping on the offensive end. They're finding open guys. Open guys are knocking down shots, which has led them to this lead.
It's Nate Metallic back with it, the senior averaging just under 20 points per game. Again, we see some good help defense there from the Panthers, as I believe it was Wilkerson getting a foot on that pass.
And as you can see for Speedway, even if Metallic isn't running the point, they're usually getting him the ball back at the top of the key somewhere, and then allowing him to try to create something and then get a shot.
Yeah, if we were betting men, we'd probably say he's going to get the ball back if they don't put a shot up right there, but they do. Good offensive rebound there by Camden Bennett. The jump ball will go in Park Tudor's favor.
I like that Speedway's been switching their defense up 2-3, 3-2, just trying to get Park Tudor good looks or different looks, but really just got to stay moving around. Now it looks like they might be in man-to-man defense as Park Tudor travels.
Now is Horvath shuffling his feet, and maybe it was the man-to-man defense there, the pressure on the ball that kind of threw him off.
Yeah, just giving different looks. You know, makes the opponent think a little bit. I like the move there from Coach Chuck Bennett.
Just about 40 seconds left in this first frame. We see a double team up top. It's the freshman Drew Metallic with it. Now 30 seconds left.
It's amazing the difference between a freshman and a senior's body, as you can see with the Metallic brothers. You know, you've got Nate, who's kind of cut up there and able to absorb some contact, and you got his brother, a freshman, who, you know, still has to do some time in the weight room and whatnot, a little bit more slender.
Yeah, that is kind of funny to look at, and you can see them right there, right next to each other, to give you an even better look. As that was Cam Bennett getting the backdoor layup there, and now we see the other way. It's Wilkerson streaking towards the basket and finishing through contact.
That one drives you nuts if you're Coach Chuck Bennett. You know, you kind of chipped away at this, and then right there at the end of the quarter, Park Tudor's able to get to the rim fairly easily for the and one.
Wilkerson, the junior, knocks down the free throw. Metallic with one last heave. Off the mark, and we're going to head to the second quarter. Park Tudor leading here on IndianaSRN 17-8 over Speedway.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Back here on IndianaSRN, second quarter, just seconds away. But we want to remind everyone that tonight's game is brought to you by Aspen Creek Grill. They are located in Noblesville. They've got great food, great appetizers. I know the powwow shrimp is a favorite around here. For carry-out orders, call 317-559-3300. Later this quarter, we have the Aspen Creek Grill trivia question. It stumped both Tony and I, so it is a good one today. There's a travel out of the gate.
I had Speedway for 2 turnovers in that first quarter. I thought they did a nice job. They kind of got going quick to start the game, but then really kind of calmed down and was able to run some of their offense there for the spark plugs as the quarter wore on. So
Coach Bennett has to be happy with that. At least they're taking care of the ball, but it does hurt coming out of the timeout break because they probably had something drawn up there and just couldn't get into it.
Absolutely. You're trying to chip away at that lead to start the quarter and then turn it over. Never a sight you want to see as a head coach.
Pull-up jumper off the rim by Ruffin, and now it's Metallic finding his brother in the corner, left it short. Strong rebound there by Coleman.
I think Speedway, again, is getting good looks when they haven't turned the ball over. They've gotten really good looks on the offensive end. Not all of them falling, certainly, but I think they've run some good offense to get good looks, nice driving kick actions. Just haven't seen that outside shot fall for them yet.
Wilkerson to bring the ball up. Mark throws it away. Short with the spin and the take. He is fouled.
I like Short's game. You know, he's kind of just a bruiser, kind of does it all, averages 7 points, 7 rebounds a game, 2 assists. He shoots at 40% from beyond the arc. Like, he's just kind of a Swiss Army knife out there for the Spark Plugs.
He's unable to knock down the first. As you see there, just good control of his body. Able to fight through some contact there.
Short, just a 53% free throw shooter. He's missed both of them there.
Coleman to the corner to Petty. He gets it right back. And now they're going to reset the offense.
See Speedway in man-to-man here. Really the first time I really get to see Park Tudor's man-to-man offense.
Good refusal of the ball screen, and that's Washington getting all the way into the lane and finishing.
Yeah, and that's one where Speedway, their ball screen defense, they're trying to force the guy to use the screen, so once you let him reject, he's got the wide open floor and he's able to score it.
There's a foul there. I think the crowd was looking for the travel, but the foul occurred first, so it's going to be the freshman Drew Metallic going to the line.
The Speedway missed a couple opportunities to chip away at it last time at the line. See what Metallic can do here from the charity stripe.
So that one rattles in and out. And Max Prep only had 7 out of their 10 games listed for stats. And of those 7 games, he didn't attempt his free throws, so that might have been his first one of the season right there. And both of them rattle in and out.
4 points left on the board there for Speedway. Tough shot.
Never want to save the ball when you're on defense, and it comes back to bite Robinson and the Spark Plugs there.
Good hands, good active hands there for Metallic. Park Tudor does a nice job, though, finding the open man, driving in space, getting an offensive rebound, which we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Speedway needed to limit Park Tudor to just 1 shot as Park Tudor gets his second chance points there.
And that was Smith with the putback. He's now got 6 in the first half. Working against Washington. Pull up over 2 defenders.
You can tell he really wants to get to certain spots on the floor where he's really comfortable. Very, very comfortable with that pull up. He had a hand in his face, still almost knocked it down.
Coleman back to Petty.
From Speedway, I'd want to be a little bit more active in that zone, just on the balls, your feet, arms out wide. Another second chance opportunity given up by the Spark Plugs.
I believe that was Smith there again. Another missed opportunity for the Spark Plugs and another offensive rebound. Results in points for the Panthers.
Starting to be danger zone here for the Spark Plugs. Really want to get a bucket here. Stop the bleeding for the Panthers. Nice pass.
Excellent setup and find there by number 3, Metallic, and he finds Robinson down below, and he's going to head to the line for 2.
Spark Plugs headed back to the line, 0 for 4 thus far.
Robinson able to knock down this time, the first of 2. We'll get another look at that nice pass.
Yeah, did a really nice job just in that ball screen. As soon as the defender committed to Metallic, he was able to dump down for the easy opportunity.
Now it's time for the Aspen Creek Grill trivia question of the night. If you know the correct answer, go ahead and tweet us at IndianaSRN. And here it is. We're switching up. We're going baseball tonight. Which MLB player was the first to be paid an annual salary of $10 million? Was it Cecil Fielder, Kevin Brown, Albert Bell, or Frank Viola? If you know the answer, tweet it at IndianaSRN, and you will win a gift card to Aspen Creek Grill. There's a poke away by Robinson and the steal. Can't finish, but there's a rebound by Fenters.
Nice job by Fenters following that one up, getting the rebound for the Spark Plugs. Nice job by Robinson also on the steal.
Foul going to go against Washington. Out of bounds baseline look here for Speedway.
You're going to see Metallic going to come back around. Little screen the screener, double screen action.
So, Tony, you were saying if that back cut isn't there, he's likely coming off 2 more screens and going to get a look up top at something. Probably get to one of those spots we've seen him trying to get to so far.
Absolutely. And we might just see that here again on the opposite side of the floor. Wouldn't be surprised to see Speedway just try to run it.
Saw Drew Metallic come back into the game. And there's Nate Metallic back with the ball in his hands, trying to work one-on-one.
It's a really tough shot there by Metallic.
Now we got a 2-on-1 opportunity. It's Cal Bostic into the game for the first time. Only a sophomore, but he's got a good frame there at 6'5".
Very good frame. Was able to kind of muscle his way down there to the bucket. Wasn't able to convert, but Park Tudor keeps the ball underneath.
As they get the ball back into Bostic. We've got an offensive foul on Horvath.
We had a moving screen situation there on the baseline out of bounds. For Speedway, if I'm on the Sparkplugs, I'm trying to get this under 10 by halftime.
Definitely. We got just under 4 minutes to play, so plenty of time to do that. And now we've got a foul again on Park Tudor.
Next one, I think, is 1-1 for the Sparkplugs.
It is indeed. So that is something that Speedway can use to their advantage to try and chip back away at this deficit.
Nice screen, the screener action underneath there. It's a brother-to-brother connection.
And that's just a lack of communication on the defensive end as he got lost, and a good look there to get Speedway back on the board. And now a quick turnover. I've got Park Tudor for 7 turnovers to Speedway's 3. That was a big focal point you had as a key in this one, so they're winning that battle as well.
Speedway's done a nice job of taking care of the ball, and like I said, they've had good looks offensively, just that they just haven't gotten to fall. But they're not out of this game, that's for sure.
And now I believe we have an offensive foul against Speedway. It's going to go against number 50, Camden Bennett, the sophomore. So his last couple possessions have kind of been really stagnant with these offensive fouls getting picked up. We haven't gotten to see too much offense.
It's been a little bit disjointed here the last couple possessions. See what Park Tudor does here. Looks like man-to-man defense for the Sparkplugs currently.
Another whistle, this time a travel. So turnovers piling up here for Park Tudor in the second quarter. They've got 5 in this frame alone.
For Speedway, we mentioned you wanted to get it under 10. I'm sure Coach Chuck Bennett would love it under 5.
Yeah, it's right there for the taking if they can just string together a couple possessions. Metallic trying to drive left side, bobbles it and goes out of bounds.
Yeah, and for Metallic, forcing the issue just a little bit. I think Speedway does a nice job of him initiating offense, but he doesn't necessarily have to attack the basket every single time. He can attack, drive, kick, get some other guys in the action as well.
So we see Horvath pull up from the top of the key. Too strong. And Speedway lucky to come up with that rebound.
Had a couple guys go up for it and a couple guys come down with it.
Now some good on-ball defense there by Petty as they find Metallic down on the block, and he finishes.
It's a nice job by Metallic, too. Just see one fall down there for you, absorb some contact, able to shoot over the longer Jermaine Coleman, get 2, and now making a 9-point game. I believe it's a 6-0 run for the Sparkplugs.
Another 3 from the same spot. We saw Horvath take one, and now another offensive rebound. That's what's kept this lead for Park Tudor in the second quarter.
Yeah, Park Tudor just crashing the glass hard. Speedway having a tough time boxing everyone out, securing the rebound.
Good find in the corner to Fenters, and he drills the corner 3.
Great look there from Metallic. And again, I love that he's able to initiate that offense and then find the open guys. Park Tudor clearly has pretty much 5 guys focused on Metallic and looking at him. Metallic able to drive, kick, find the open guy. And finally, one of those shots on the kick out went in.
Now we've got another offensive foul, but let's take another look at this play right here, Tony.
Yeah, nice find, nice cut. Again, you've got Metallic able to go over the long Jermaine Coleman and get 2 points for the Spark Plugs.
That's easier said than done. We've already seen him reject one shot away, so good take there by Metallic. And now they've got a chance to cut into this lead even more.
Speedway just passing and cutting offensively. Get Metallic to get the ball back at the top of the key. He's going to fire it.
And this one off the left side of the rim. And now Park Tudor going to slow down the pace here.
You can hear the scout go under the screen there on number 4, Ben Wilkerson, is what the Spark Plugs were yelling out there. And then you can see another offensive board.
Another offensive rebound. This time one of the smaller guys on the court getting in on the action. A near takeaway by Metallic, but it's going to stay with the Panthers.
Yeah, and watching Metallic guard Jermaine Coleman is been one that's been interesting to me. You can see when Coleman catches it, they're really sitting on that left hand and trying to make him go right. And Coleman's still able to get to that left hand, but he's not able to get downhill with them sitting on that left, and he's had to pull up for some tough jumpers.
Wilkerson gets it back to Coleman.
You see how far he's shading him to that left hand.
Yeah, that is it. He didn't even really move when that screen came. He said he can have it. Fadeaway jumper. Another offensive rebound by Park Tudor. This time it's Hayden Swayze getting his first action of the night.
1v1 action here again. Now you're going to see, would expect to see Park Tudor hold for one with 20 seconds remaining in the half.
Wilkerson bobbles it. And now with just over 10 seconds left, it's the matchup you've been talking about, Tony. It's Coleman and Metallic.
Now they're just going to go
screeners.
4 flat, and they're just going to try to go, and Metallic's going to sit on that hand. He's going to make them go right.
Step back 3 for Coleman. Too strong, and that's going to end the first half. It's Park Tudor leading 25-17. So we've kind of touched on this throughout the second quarter, but if you're Coach Chuck Bennett, you got to be pretty satisfied with the way they played that second quarter. They had a rocky start in the first quarter, but kind of held things together there in that second quarter.
Yeah, basically cut the lead in half, got it down from 15 to 8. And really, I think the key point and the changing point of that game is when they shifted to that man-to-man defense, we saw Speedway's energy pick up, and really that just kind of changed everything and really got them back into this game.
Yeah, because in the first quarter, we kind of saw Park Tudor, they were just kind of taking their time with the ball. It seemed like they were moving the ball around and then just waiting for that open shot, and that hasn't been there in the second quarter. So good adjustment there by Speedway. If you're Coach Adams, what are you telling your team there after that kind of little letdown of a second quarter?
Yeah, number one is, hey, we got to keep our foot on the gas. We had a 15-point lead. We let it get down to 8. Now they've got belief over in that locker room that they can hang around with us. So first 4 minutes are going to be the most important. You hear that a lot. But they're going to be the most important minutes of the game if you're Park Tudor. To try to put your foot on the gas, try to put some distance between you and Speedway, and kind of get some of that belief that Speedway's got in their locker room to wane a bit.
Good stuff. As we mentioned, you can see the score there. It's Park Tudor holding on to an 8-point lead here at halftime. We're going to step away for a few minutes, and we come back. We'll touch on this game, but don't go anywhere. We've got a good one here on IndianaSRN.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
You want a sports degree that is beyond the game? A degree that immerses you from day one and launches you into the business side of sports. With a sports management major from IUPUI's School of Health and Human Sciences, you'll have insider access to sports professionals and will learn from faculty with years of teaching and industry experience. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sport industry career.
We can't have NBA basketball without the ball itself. So today we are going to go balls deep into the history of the ball, starting all the way back to the game's inception. Let's begin the animated timeline. The game of basketball was invented in the year 1891. Dr. James Naismith was its creator. Now, the game back then was much different than it is today. I'll save the evolution of the game itself for a later video. This video's topic is the balls. And the ball in 1891 was, well, a soccer ball. Now, soccer balls themselves were built a little different than they are today, but the important takeaway is that this ball actually wasn't used for dribbling. Dribbling wasn't a concept for basketball until 1897. As the game became more popular and grew, the ball had no business being a soccer ball. So in 1894, Dr. James Naismith reached out to A.G. Spalding to invent the first basketball ball. Spalding at the time was famous for making American footballs and Major League Baseball gloves. And you can totally see the inspiration of the design, as this ball is laced up at the center like a football. Fun fact about this ball specifically, to celebrate its 125th anniversary, Spalding remade the ball in 2019 around the same time as the Raptors-Warriors finals. As the years went on, basketball got so popular it was able to have its own league formed around the sport. And in 1937, the NBL, or National Basketball League, was formed in the United States, and they needed their own NBL ball. This ball was no longer built like a pigskin football, as the laces are removed for optimal dribbling. The NBA, National Basketball Association, was founded in 1946, but it wasn't till around 1950 when the game got a much upgraded ball. The game got so popular that it started bringing attention of many new fans showing up to watch the games. Keeping up with, spectating, and watching the pace of the game as a fan was difficult, as the brown ball color was hard to keep up with rapid court movement on the brown floor. So around 1950, the ball was remade into an orange ball. The orange ball was much more flashy and visually appealing to fans, as they can easily see it dart around the court. Decades later, the game ball kept evolving. Around 1971, the NBA changed the design of the ball from 4 leather panels to 8 leather panels. Having 8 leather panels instead of 4 allowed for a much better grip on the ball itself for better dribbling techniques. And 1 year later, in 72, the first synthetic leather ball was made, which made producing the ball much cheaper. And now we bring you the iconic NBA ball that many of you know and love, the 1984 Spalding Larry O'Brien official Spalding ball. To quote Heritage Auctions, Wilson had the NBA contract to produce basketballs, which ended following the '83 finals. Also moving out of the office of commissioner was Larry O'Brien. Eventually, Spalding picked up the contract and David Stern assumed the role as top man on February 1st, 1984. This ball is the ball of choice that many fans around the world prefer while playing basketball. Moving on to a slight adaptation of this ball was that failure of a ball in 2006. This 06 ball was made out of cross-traction microfiber, but the ball only lasted for the beginning of the season, as many players complained that it roughed up their fingers, skin, and was overall a terrible ball. The ball was quickly discontinued, and the NBA went back to the classic leather ball. Going forward in the future, coming up for the 2021-2022 NBA season, Wilson will replace Spalding as the official NBA basketball. Now, the leather used for the balls themselves will still come from the same provider, so they won't physically feel any much different. Also, the balls will keep their 8-panel configuration and performance specifics as the ball that is currently used, so it's pretty much the same game with a different name.
Today, greed, selfish interest, and barefaced corruption seem all the fashion. America needs great men of tolerance who can give honest debate to the great issues of the day. I've seen mostly squabbling, men squandering their time, being wolves to one another. Yet, I'm not without hope. We still have Freemasonry. Yes, the same Freemasons that helped create this country have always provided great men when needed. And today, in every city and town in America, Freemasonry is still providing that special place where young men can find their greatness and accomplished men can give something back. Yes, in this time of great hope, it is my hope that America will see that Freemasonry is a national treasure that cannot be separated from our country's future.
We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to IHSAAFoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
Back at the half here at Park Tudor, it's the Panthers leading the Sparkplugs 25-17, and today's halftime is brought to you by Ref Reps. They are designed in partnership with numerous state high school associations, helping officials to hone their skills and promote unity in the officiating world. Ref Reps is the new official as well as the seasoned veteran. Contact us at refreps.com. It's also brought to you by the Hoosier Basketball Magazine. It's in its 53rd year, and it is out now. Order today at HoosierBasketball-magazine.com or call 317-925-8200. Follow the top players in high school and college basketball. We want to thank Kip Wesner and Hoosier Basketball Magazine for their support of IndianaSRN. And I was actually at the City Alliance girls basketball tournament, and they had a representative out there with a big box of them. Always a good magazine to get your hands on, and it really gives you a taste of everything basketball around the Hoosier State.
Absolutely, it's my favorite. I remember even being 10-year-old kid and getting passed out at Southport Fieldhouse and diving into it and trying to figure out who the favorite players were. And I remember getting Eric Gordon to sign one year. Fantastic magazine.
Yep, good stuff there. And we got a good game here. We thought maybe after that first quarter it was going to be Park Tudor kind of running away with it. I know, Tony, you mentioned Speedway kind of got in that danger zone, and they really reeled things in and brought this game under 10, which we were thinking was probably the goal in that second quarter. And they did just that, and now they're coming out with some energy.
Yeah, I love the energy they played with in their man-to-man defense. In that second quarter, held top scorer for Park Tudor and Jermaine Coleman to no points in the second quarter, had 7 in the first. So I like Speedway in that man-to-man defense. I feel like it just helped the energy. In that zone, they were kind of flat-footed, a little bit lethargic on the defensive end, which just kind of carried out throughout the game. Then when they picked up that defensive energy, their offensive flow got going a little bit better as well, and they're able to get themselves back into this basketball game.
It's going to be Park Tudor starting with the ball. As you can see, Kamon Washington, the junior, getting set to inbound. Gets it to Petty, who had 5 points in the first half. As they get it into Coleman, he's going to look to work one-on-one.
Yeah, you see Park Tudor just clears out that left side for Coleman to get to his left hand in an ISO in space from the elbow, able to score an easy 2.
And, Tony, that wasn't something we saw all first half from Coleman and Park Tudor. He did not really look to score around the basket.
Not at all. A lot of step back, three-point jumpers going to the left hand. You see a nice take there from Speedway.
Yeah, strong take there from Robinson from the left side.
See what Speedway does here defensively. Looks like they're back into the zone now after a possession of man-to-man.
Coleman off the skip pass, drills the 3.
And for that play right there, I love it because Coleman got one at the hoop to kind of get back on track, and then he shoots from the outside, kind of took that lid off the bucket to start that second half.
And we see right there, it's Creighton Bennett getting the start in the second half for Speedway. Fadeaway jumper blocked there. I believe that was Keelan Smith getting his hand on that one. Good defense from the freshman. And now Coleman, another 3. This one rattles in and out.
Got another great look at it. Speedway fortunate that didn't fall for the Panthers.
Now Short bringing the ball up for the Sparkplugs. Gets it over to Nate Metallic.
Park Tudor kind of coming out in this second half just like they did in the beginning of the game. A lot of energy on the defensive end, which has really just helped carry itself over into the offense.
And they're going to count the bucket there, so it's Smith heading to the line for a chance to convert the three-point play. And if you're Coach Adams, you got to be really happy with the way he's playing so far. He led his team in scoring at half, and now he's coming out and making some plays here in the second half.
Yeah, just a freshman, now into double figures for the Panthers. Going to be a tough player for Park Tudor for 3 more seasons. But as they say, as you start getting into January, February, the freshmen kind of turn into sophomores almost. They've got some experience under their belts. Those jitters of playing in varsity basketball are gone now, and they're just a normal player on the floor. And as we see, Smith playing like he belongs.
Yeah, and this isn't a knock on Drew Metallic, but if you look over at Keelan Smith, he does not look like a freshman. He's got a 6'4" build. He looks pretty muscular out there, and we've seen him make some strong moves towards the basket.
Absolutely. Able to absorb contact.
Let's see what the call is here. I believe it's going to go against Speedway, and maybe not a bad foul there because they got a wide open look at 3 there for Horvath.
Yes, they did, and that's one if you're Park Tudor, you're just begging the ref. Couldn't you just let that one go?
Yeah, they had some well-executed screens there to get him an open look, and we'll see if they try and run it here again. No, it's going to be Coleman with the pull-up 3, and he knocks that down. There is just no defense that's going to stop that.
Yeah, I talked about Coleman had 7 first quarter points, none in the second quarter, already 8 in the first 2 minutes here of the second half.
As we're going to get a look at this 3 by Coleman.
Yeah, you mentioned one dribble, jab step, step back 3. Really can't guard it any better
3,
than
4 feet
Metallic
behind
did.
the line too. So as we see an errant pass from Washington, and now it's Speedway coming up with the steal.
Yeah, and Speedway clawed their way back in that second quarter. And then just like that, Park Tudor now has their largest lead of the game at 16.
Was Short trying to get the shot up over Coleman. Coleman doing a good job just getting those long hands up and deflecting it out of bounds.
Yeah, Speedway here on this play out of bounds. You're going to end up seeing Metallic coming around. It's kind of that same one we saw earlier. Comes off that double screen. Now he's able to operate and pull up from his favorite spot.
And there it is. He knocks it down. Getting to that spot and gets some points back on the board for Speedway.
Yeah, I like Metallic's games a lot. The guy's got a lot of skill. He can put it on the deck. Seems to be able to score at all 3 levels. He's guarding the other team's best player. I like what he's shown tonight.
Yeah, to me, he seems like a guy that could play at that D2, D3 level, and his game translates very easily. We're going to get another look here at that shot.
Yeah, just that 15-foot pull-up. You can tell he's very comfortable there.
This time trying to get his passing game in rhythm, but off the mark there. It's going to be another turnover, so already 3 turnovers for Speedway. That's something that's not going to help their cause trying to get back into this one.
Yeah, 3 quick turnovers to start the second half. I'm sure Coach Bennett isn't pleased to see those. As when you're trying to claw your way back into a game, you have to value each and every single possession.
Washington up top. Just about halfway through the third quarter here.
If you're Park Tudor, you're probably looking to get Coleman in some space here. He's had quite the third quarter. Nice job dishing it out, though.
Yeah, excellent pass to find the open Ruffin from the corner, and that gives him his first 3 points of the night.
Yeah, defense is keying on Coleman. Drives it, gets some defense in front of him, and now we might see some showtime.
You can hear the groans from the fans. They were waiting for it as well.
I believe we're going to have an intentional, as we do. Not really a play on the ball.
That's something that basketball as a whole has really tried to change, is that kind of, like, used to call it the take foul, and now it's not always the best decision because now they're going to get this free throw and get the ball back.
Yeah, all the way up at the NBA level, even if you have a take foul you're in front of the guy, it's still a free throw in the ball. And then in this instance here, you've got no play on the ball, essentially just kind of grabbing the guy to stop him. And like you mentioned, now it's going to be 2 points and the ball for Park Tudor and some disgruntled fans that didn't get to see a Showtime dunk.
I'm a little upset too, but I'll be all right. So Park Tudor off to a really good start here in the second half. We mentioned this was just an 8-point game at halftime. Now they've got this up to 19.
Yeah, offensively it all starts with Coleman for them. Was able to get 8 quick ones. Now he's kind of distributing the basketball, just doing a lot for the Panthers.
We see a jumper rattle in and out there for Horvath.
For Speedway, can't get it all back at once. That's what you're telling your team. If your coach Bennett is, look, we got to chip away at this, chip away at this, and don't start forcing the issue, forcing shots, or this thing could get out of control.
You see Short there get a breather. He was trying to be aggressive there, but defense held strong, and it's going to be Park Tudor basketball. Looks like we've got some subs coming into the game. Wilkerson back out there. As well as Ruffin. I believe they started the second half, actually. Didn't get the start to start the game. They're the usual 5. Started this second half as we see Bostic, good post and catch, and there's Coleman again facilitating.
Yeah, and for Coleman, you're just seeing why he's a Division I talent, kind of able to do a little bit of everything, and now you see him locking down on the defensive end a little bit as well.
Robinson feeds it to Fenters, gets it right back, and good finish at the rim.
Great little give and go there for Robinson. Get Speedway on the board.
Devin Robinson has 6 points on the night.
Park Tudor really kind of been able to do whatever they want offensively in this half. Hasn't really mattered if it was man, zone, whatever the case may be.
As we see the reach there by Metallic, and sometimes that's all you can do to try and slow down Coleman. It seems like Coach Adams has really made it a focal point to kind of drag things out and give Coleman some space to operate. I mean, we saw it a few times in the first half, but this time they're really giving him some space, and he gets a well-deserved breather.
Nice little backdoor play there on the baseline out of bounds, too, for Park Tudor. Bostic didn't score it. Did get the offensive rebound there before Speedway stole it, but I like the baseline out of bounds set there from the Panthers.
Quick shot, and it goes in for Fenters. His second 3 of the night gives him 8 points.
And you got Coleman on the bench for Park Tudor. If you're Speedway, this is where you kind of got to make that run right now. Again, try to get this thing back around 10 points or so at the quarter to give yourselves a chance.
Good blow by Wilkerson, and an even better find over in the corner. That was DeFerrance with his first shot of the night. And now another 3. This time it's Ruffin, and he's knocked down 2 threes in this quarter.
Yeah, and another second chance opportunity for the Panthers. Speedway, when they watch film on this one, be kicking themselves a little bit, as you just see that pull-up game from Metallic is money.
Yeah, that is very smooth. You could tell he was going up with that and had all the space he needed to do so.
You mentioned the talent level of Metallic. I haven't seen where he's possibly looking at going to college, but, the kid's got good size, good length. Looks like he can put some bulk on his frame. If I'm a college coach, I'm calling up, seeing where Nate Metallic wants to go.
Definitely, because, if he gets to the next level, too, he's not going to be that main guy that has to do everything, so that would lighten his load a little bit. We saw that last 3 here by Ruffin. He's really caught fire in this second half.
Yeah, kind of created some space with the jab step. He was feeling it. 9 points in the quarter.
Sparkplug is on the inbound. It's the freshman, the younger Metallic, trying to go up with it as he fouled. I believe they're going to say this was on the ground.
Yeah, and sometimes in situations like this, it's tough for where Coach Bennett is at with the younger Metallic and number 31, because sometimes you just want those younger guys to play maybe JV or freshman basketball to be able to not play against some guys that have the bodies of like Jermaine Coleman's and Ruffin and things like that. The physicality at this level is just a step higher. So ideally, you're not having to play freshmen on the varsity level at least at great lengths. But sometimes if they're talented enough, or they're so talented as Coach Bennett feels Metallic is, you just got to play them. But it's nice if you can play them at the level of the physicality is just a tad lower. Also just to gain some confidence on that level as well.
Yeah, because I don't think people will even realize this. You'd think, oh, from JV to varsity, it can't be that big of a jump. But really, when you get thrown out there, the pace just seems so much faster. It is really something that you have to get used to.
100%. And you know, for freshmen, they're coming from 8th grade basketball into, you know, varsity basketball where you're playing against guys that are going to be at the Division I level the following season. That's a vast difference.
It is huge, but down the road, it hopes to make all the difference when they're upperclassmen and they've got those years under their belt already at the varsity level. As we'll see from Metallic, and he's trying to get things going here. Knocks down the 3. He's having himself a solid third quarter.
Yeah, the kid is smooth. I can't say enough nice things about Metallic's game. I'm sure to have the season that Speedway is having, where they've had some struggles, can be frustrating, but he still comes out, gives it his all every single night, gets his teammates involved. Enjoy watching the kid play.
10 seconds left to go, and who else? Ruffin's going to shoot it off the mark, but he's had a good third quarter, and now the rejection there by the senior Nate Metallic. Only guy so far outscoring Metallic in the third quarter is Ruffin. He's got 11 points alone in this third quarter.
Yeah, Ruffin has been very, very solid. He and Coleman really leading the charge for the Panthers here in this third quarter.
Ooh, and that's just not a good foul there by the freshman. That's definitely a freshman mistake.
Absolutely. Fouling three-point shooter as the clock's ticking down on the quarter. That's one where the coach, you're not even as mad as much as you are. Hey, come over here. Let's talk about this foul you just committed here. And here's why we can't have you do that. Teachable moments. That's what a lot of this is about now as well, is teachable moments for this Speedway Sparkplugs team. Again, you're in the middle of January. You're trying to figure things out a little bit. Park Tudor's a tough opponent to go against. They're a perennial 3A powerhouse. They've won some state titles, have had tremendous players come through that program. And so, having this as your kind of get-right game is never probably a great thing. So Speedway, you just got to build on things. You got to figure stuff out in this fourth quarter. And as I mentioned earlier, play hard, play smart, play together, and whatever happens with the result on the floor, you live with as a coach.
And that's going to end the third quarter. Park Tudor with a commanding lead of 57-31. We've got one more quarter of action here on IndianaSRN. We'll be right back.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
Park Tudor's offense came alive in this third quarter, and it was because of plays like these. We'll see here a great pass and dish.
Yeah, just a great pass, drawing the defense in. Great cut there from Ruffin. 2 of his 11 in that quarter.
Huge quarter. He went scoreless in the first half, really stepped on the floor and made his impact and gave them a now 26-point lead.
See some new faces for both teams here now.
Skip pass over the corner, the brother-to-brother connection. So the younger missing from the corner, and now a 3-on-1 opportunity. How about the Euro?
Nice Euro there from Horvath. Horvath started the game for the Panthers. It was one that we had seen come off the bench a little bit earlier in the year, finally in the scoring column.
Jumper off the mark by Bennett. Strong offensive rebound there by Fenters. Foul is going to go against Washington.
You're going to see that same kind of double screen action here.
We also see Jonathan Harrison for the first time for the Panthers. So we see Metallic all night. He's been the guy to get the ball off the inbounds. He makes a nice pass, but Bennett can't connect.
Nice driving kick for Metallic.
Saw Park Tudor bring the double team, and that forces the turnover.
See a little bit of frustration there from Metallic after turning the ball over.
I want to remind everyone one last time of our Aspen Creek Grill trivia question of the night. Tweet the answer to IndianaSRN's Twitter page, and you will win a gift card to Aspen Creek Grill. Which MLB player was the first to be paid an annual salary of $10 million? Was it Cecil Field, Kevin Brown, Albert Bell, or Frank Viola? Tweet that correct answer to IndianaSRN on Twitter, and you will win a free gift card to Aspen Creek Grill. Sorry, producer coming in. I got to get technical with this for legality reasons. You win a chance to win. We'll take all the right answers from the season, and you'll get put in the pot to win that lucky gift card.
Yeah, Ben, we both guessed the same answer. And we both were wrong.
Yeah,
no gift card for us tonight.
Nope. I will say, though, I'm not much of a baseball guy. I'm more basketball than football, and then baseball's down there kind of at the bottom. Just for those lonely summer months when there's not much else sports on. So we see Coleman back in. Strong take, even better defense, and they're fighting for that board as he's able to stay with it and get the putback.
Second chance points for the Panthers. Been a big factor this evening.
Yeah, it really has. We saw a lot of them come in that second quarter, but they've been finding a way to get them here and there throughout the game.
And we mentioned for Park Tudor, team's got a lot of size. A lot of talent, to be honest. I've been very, very impressed with how Park Tudor plays. They play with a lot of good energy, defensively, offensively. They get the ball in their creators' hands and then let them go to work from there. Impressed with the Panther effort tonight.
Yeah, and then even tonight we saw right off the bat starting some new guys on the starting five. They've got some depth as well, so they can bring some guys off the bench, and it's no problem at all.
And a good mix, seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen, all in abundance for the Panthers. Kind of the way you want your program to look if you're head coach Tim Adams.
Harris with the take from the right side, and you can see the crowd's happy to see him get in the scoring column.
Yeah, definitely getting out of hand here a bit for the Sparkplugs as we see the timeout.
It's going to be Speedway calling the timeout. That's going to give us a chance here to remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by Tam's Sweet and Savory Cafe. It's a new spot for breakfast or lunch, open Wednesday through Sunday. Try our classic breakfast and our sweet baked goods located in Lawrence, Indiana. Check out Tam's at 6427 Oaklandon Road. You can call them and place a carryout order at 317-760-1640. You see a good shot there of Coach Chuck Bennett. And I know you touched on this throughout the game, really. There's always teaching moments in games like these.
Yeah, there is, and you can see this is what I love. That's my favorite part about being a former coach. I don't love being down 34 points. Don't get me wrong, but there's always opportunities to teach. Even in the great times when you're up 34, bad times down 34, you can talk about things and work on them for the next game. And again, it's one of those opportunities where you just say, listen, we know what the score is. Don't worry about the score right now. Let's go out there, bust our tails, execute our offense, do what we need to do on the defensive end, and get some momentum heading into the next game where Speedway plays here in just a few nights against Tri-West.
They'll be back in action on the 20th. Both teams actually will be. And that gives us a good time to look at our upcoming schedule on IndianaSRN. We've got a couple games coming up here on Thursday and Friday. I believe on Thursday we will have Brebeuf and Covenant Christian. And then also on Friday we've got Brebeuf and Guerin, boys and girls doubleheader. And then we've also got Lafayette CC at Traders Point, Park Tudor at Bethesda, and North Decatur at Morristown. So busy Friday night coming up ahead. And then after that we've got the city tournament down at Tech. That's always a good one. We're going to see some very good teams down there this year.
Yeah, the city tournament, second to none. The county of Marion County, between what you've got in the Indianapolis City tournament and the Marion County tournament in back-to-back weekends, is again, second to none, and that's across the country, in terms of high school basketball. The talent level is immense. In the Marion County tournament just concluded this past weekend. You got number 1 in 4A, Ben State, won that. Ben Davis.
I believe it was their first time in about 26 to 28 years, something like that. So it's been since the 90s since they won that tournament. Just kind of shows how tough it really is to run the table in that.
Many coaches will tell you winning the Marion County tournament or the city tournament is harder than winning the state tournament because it's back to back to back. You don't have time for your scouts and things like that. You're playing one day after another, and by that Saturday of the championship night, your boys are tired.
Yeah, I could definitely see that as we see DeFrance getting the three-point bucket to fall. We saw heading into this fourth quarter get that nice dish to Ruffin, so he's getting into the action here. And I believe that was him under the basket trying to take the charge.
Just going to see Metallic going back to the line. Got him slotted for 13 tonight.
He's a very good free throw shooter as well. He's shot the most on the team, and he's shooting at 87%.
Thought you were maybe going to do the downstairs jinx there.
I tried. I mentioned he's averaging just under 20 points per game. Yeah. See, I wasn't going to mention it, and then it got brought up. I think that's what caused it. Yeah, I'm putting that one on you. There's a quick steal. Now we've got another fresh face in the game.
Looked like he was gearing up for that dunk. And
that was Sueza getting back in on the action. And there's the charge. That was Harris waiting for him under the basket.
Yeah, that's a tough one where high school basketball, you don't have that cylinder that you have to get outside of. You can draw that charge anywhere underneath the basket, which is what we saw.
And I don't know about that one, if I'm being honest. It seemed like he got there a little late, right under the basket. Speedway's down. Come on, give him the benefit of the doubt.
As we do see the running clock now that they've implemented in IHSAA for this one.
Yeah, and I like that. I know people like to bring up the shot clock argument, and I think this is a really good way of controlling these games that get out of hand is running that clock. And that would have been a crazy play if that went in, but
that could have been your opportunity to be on Sports Center top 10 right there.
Yeah, we would have sent that one in for sure. I don't know if it would have been top 10, not top 10. Either way, it would have been on one of them. As we see, winding down here, just under 3 minutes. A really strong second half from Park Tudor, kind of coming out and asserting their dominance in this one. Good block. It was Fenters sending that one away. And now Robinson trying his hand to the three. He knocks it down.
Had a nice little second half here for Robinson.
Yeah, he has. And considering on the year, it's only 2 from 11 from behind the three-point mark. So that was one he kind of took his chance and knocked it down.
Yeah, and if you're Park Tudor and your head coach, Tim Adams, you've got teachable moments here as well, especially when you're watching film. And you say, look, first half, 8-point lead. Here's the difference in how hard we played, or here's the difference in our execution, or whatever the case may be. Coach, that's for Coach Adams to decide what the issues were in the first half versus the second half. But clearly, Park Tudor, the more dominant team in this one, as they now have a 33-point lead. But, wasn't like it was all sunshine and rainbows throughout the game. Speedway really took it to him the end of that second quarter to cut it down to 8.
As you see there, Drew Metallic converting on the three-point play. And now Park Tudor with the ball here. We've got all the reserves in getting some minutes here. There's another offensive rebound kicked out. Speedway able to come up with it. Now Robinson taking it to the defense. We mentioned Park Tudor. They're going to have a good chance at winning that sectional. They are in the 2A sectional 43. It's University, Covenant Christian, Sheridan, and Cascade. The last sectional title for the Panthers was in 2016, so it's been some time. I'm sure that was a big focal point for Coach Adams coming into this program 5 years ago. He wanted to get a sectional title.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned earlier, Park Tudor, a perennial powerhouse in the state of Indiana. And like I mentioned, won some state titles and have had the likes of the Yogi Farrell and Trayvon Blewett and those types of guys come through their program. So good opportunity to kind of get back on track for that program this season and win a sectional title.
As we see down low, number 20 getting into the scoring column. Good answer the other way by Park Tudor.
Minute left to play here. Speedway still got a couple of their starters out there. And it's opportunities for different guys, too, that are even in the starting lineup. You might say, why has he got a starter? And, well, it's an opportunity for them maybe to play a different role. Maybe a younger guy to play more of a scoring threat or driving threat or something along those lines. So each coach has their different theory, different philosophy when it comes to how these end-of-game situations play out. Neither's right or wrong.
Not yet. So, Tony, I would ask you here, are you just dribbling this one out this last 30 seconds of your Park Tudor?
I am, but there is a part of me that it's like, a lot of these kids are JV kids. Some of it's their first varsity action. Like, I don't mind seeing a kid get a bucket and everybody get excited, for their first varsity bucket. My first 2 points ever, actually, were a buzzer beater as a sophomore against Park Tudor. And yeah, it was buzzer beater and we were up by like 20. It probably wasn't.
Looking back, might not have been, but for you it matters.
Exactly.
So I see exactly what you're saying. All those young players out there, we saw some of them get in the scoring column, so that was good. And this game really a tale of two halves. Park Tudor wins this one 70-40. It was an 8-point game at halftime, so really dominated by the Panthers in the second half.
Yeah, especially that third quarter, just kind of asserted their will for the Panthers and were able to run away with this one in 30-point fashion.
And a big reason for that big third quarter, our Piper Logistics player of the game, Jermaine Coleman, finishes with 17. And he had, I believe, 8 of those in that third quarter alone.
Yeah, pretty much first quarter 7 points, 8 points in the third quarter, then 2 in the fourth quarter before he sat down for the rest of the evening. But great job, great game by Jermaine Coleman, and Park Tudor fed off of his energy.
Yeah, Tony, I really enjoyed doing the game with you. One final time, I'm Ben Wood for Tony and Dranya and our producer Chuck Levine out there. We've got Jake Lang on the camera. We want to thank you all for tuning in. I mentioned we've got an action-packed week of basketball here on IndianaSRN. Check out our website, IndianaSRN.org, for all of our upcoming games. And this weekend, we're going to have the city tournament as well. That'll be a huge turnout. So if you want to stick around, be sure to follow us on all of social media at IndianaSRN. One final time, it's Park Tudor at home getting the win 70-40 over Speedway. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and have a great night.